Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's pretty obvious. It's a really poor call. I think from our point of view, it's very disappointing because obviously we feel as if that's out of our control. We can't have any impact on that. I think from the referee's point of view, he's obviously made a mistake. The problem I have is I expect people, when you make a mistake, is you acknowledge it and you put your hand up. You don't show arrogance, and I think that's where the league need to also do a better job of acknowledging things and saying a mistake has been made. I think they have to. There's a level of accountability for everyone, so I think they need to. When somebody makes a mistake, you admit to it and then you try and learn from it. Don't try and just brush things aside, because at the end of the day, it's a big mistake. This has a major impact on the game. So I don't expect things like that to be just left alone or left untouched. I expect people to acknowledge it. We're not moaning about it. We've spoken about it. We can't control it. And we just get on with it. But equally, there's a way to deal with things, and I think the league have a responsibility to act and to make sure that things like that is minimised for the future.
Did you guys reach out to them and talk to the league?
Not yet. I mean, I've got a great relationship with both Alec and Jake. I think for me, it's not necessarily them. I think it's a situation that obviously I'm sure both of those gentlemen will acknowledge it. I just think from our point of view, it's obviously very disappointing for something like that to happen and for it to impact on the game as strongly as it did, because it's not like it didn't alter the outcome of the game. It had a major impact on the result, which is something that shouldn't happen.
What kind of, if you could reach out to me with a file petition or something, it sounds like moving on.
Oh no, it's
thing, right?
exactly, it's the principle. Look, it's done. I mean, at the end of the day, the issue is when you speak to the fourth official, there's no acknowledgement. It's almost as if you don't know what you're talking about, and then the replays are shown, and it's very clear to see what happened. It's a really poor call, so it's a mistake. Well, I make mistakes, and when I do, I put my hand up. If our players make mistakes, they acknowledge it. So I think there's a way to handle it, and I just think it needed to be handled better from their behalf.
After seeing it, watching it initially, there was contact, but then after seeing it, did you see handball? What specifically did you see?
There's a number of things. I think, from our point of view, if Greg punches, then maybe that doesn't happen. But equally, when he catches it and gets two hands on the ball and is holding the ball and the guy knocks it out of his arms, well, it's a free kick. So call it for what it is. And equally then after, when a mistake has been made, they acknowledge it. It's not like we want blood. It's not like we're calling for a replay of the game. I mean, we're just saying that when you make a mistake, acknowledge it. Don't try and sweep things under the carpet. Just call it for what it is. It's a mistake. It happens. It's very bitter for us to take, but it happens. It's part of the game.
After both games last week, you said you guys dominated, but you only walked away with 2 points in the course of the entire week. What's the message to the team going on week like that?
Well, we beat Montreal midweek, so do you mean the City game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think for us, for me, in that particular game, we had a lot of possession and they made it difficult for us. I think the tempo of our play needed to be quicker, like I spoke about after the game. I think definitely felt as if we didn't play as well as we had done previously, but we still completely dominated the game, and I think that gives an indication as to what our standards are and our expectations from each other. So I think that's the way we look at that. Okay.
James, this week, getting back into training ahead of Wilmington, you get a little bit more time. What's the schedule like, and what are you all focusing on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we need to monitor the weather. I think it's going to be really hot. I think an earlier kick-off, it'll be 6 p.m. So I think looking at there's mid-90s I think they have this week up in Wilmington. So I think the weather's obviously going to play a factor, humidity. So I think we need to try and make sure that we play quickly and that we're fully aware of Wilmington's threats. They've obviously had a great result at Charlotte at the weekend. They made it difficult for us here when we played them. Mark has done a good job there. So, yeah, I mean, again, we need to make sure that we're fully aware of what their threats are, and then be aware that it is in all likelihood going to be very hot this weekend.
I don't know if you pay attention to these sorts of things. There's a fan vote poll for mid-season Rookie of the Year, mid-season MVP. Kyle Smith and Chandler Hoffman got a lot of support. I assume they're going to win those. Can you speak to what they've been able to do, sort of even as a unit this season, replacing?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kyle obviously is someone who's, as I said many times, he's come from an open tryout. I mean, if you'd have said to me at the start of the season that Kyle was going to play the amount of games that he had, I'd have said, well, where's he going to play? Because I wouldn't have seen it. I mean, the respect we have for Kyle is tremendous. I think he's come in and he really epitomises what we're all about. You know, we speak and preach about people working hard in training, being the best they can be, and then you're going to get an opportunity. And he's come in, he's worked really hard, he's been given an opportunity, and he's grabbed it. You know, and Chandler obviously has come in, he's been lively, he's scored a lot of goals, and he's been a threat for us as well going forward. So I think both of those guys deserve a lot of credit, but I think they'll be the first to acknowledge their teammates and say that without their teammates playing the role that they have, they wouldn't be up for the awards that they are up for at the moment. So.